This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Triple G Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Geeb, and with me is Social Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes you can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/DripGeeb, live on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Drip, how are you doing this evening on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
It's definitely Thursday at 8. I love Thursdays at 8. It's my favorite time of the week, Thursdays at 8, because it's definitely what it is right now.
Absolutely. And we're gonna guys, little announcement real fast. We're doing 2 podcasts this week, and it's totally happening again on there's 2 did you guys know there's 2 Thursdays this week? And another podcast 3
Thursdays this week.
Oh my goodness. But for realsies though, we're gonna do another podcast Friday. So listen to this episode earlier in the week. Don't stay tuned for later in the week. We're having another episode because we missed last week and we're sorry about that. But Drip, how are you doing? We had a whole extra few days.
I'm good. I don't know, man. I'm excited, dude. I've got games to play that I actually want to play. I've got Bayonetta. I've got Sonic. Like, I don't know. It's cool. Like, I was excited this morning to play Sonic, but then playing it more, I'm very happy with this so far. We're going to get into all that later, but I mean, I don't know. It's been a busy week. Last week was very busy for me too. I haven't streamed like at all.
Yeah.
Since your move to
YouTube, you actually just ghost everybody, and no, you don't longer.
Well, I mean, and I'm gonna. The plan was to stream less anyway.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. It's like, honestly, like let's be honest. I like doing it. It's fun. The interaction is great, but it's not something that is helping me pay my bills, and I need to pay my bills. So I've been putting more effort into those things, like the other videos that I'm doing. You know, the advertising stuff.
Yeah. Like I am not in a point in my content creation career yet where I'm at a point where I'm making really any significant money whatsoever. So for me, streaming is exposure. It is getting myself out there, getting my brand out there still, because you're in a much, better position than I am as far as content. You've been doing it longer as well. Don't forget about that. And you've much more experience in a lot of other areas. So like, that's why I stream. I stream, guys, because like I love it, number one, but number two, this doesn't pay my bills anyway, so I might as well just try to get myself out there and do the thing that I like to do. I am posting more videos as of relatively recently. I'm trying to mix the two. I'm trying to find a happy medium where I can stream on YouTube and then make a video, which is exactly what I did today on Sonic. I
still haven't watched your video yet.
That's fine. It just came out today.
Honestly, I'm glad I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it right now. But still go watch my video.
We're going to have this conversation anyway. I don't know. I don't really know your thoughts on it because I stopped into your stream and was hanging out for a little bit. But honestly, I was editing and stuff then, so I couldn't really pay that much attention. You started fighting one of those big guys. Yes. And I watched some of that. But basically, at the middle of that, I was like, I gotta go. I got stuff to do. So I did beat one of those finally right before we got in there. I've been playing Sonic since what time is it now? It's 8:30.
14 days ago.
I've been playing since what time did I start playing?
Like an hour ago.
6:30. But I played about an hour, 2 hours before that. I'm a little further than you, it looks like. I'm skipping a bunch of stuff, but I think I'm a little bit further than you are.
Yeah, I was playing pretty sporadically on my live stream today. I was trying to just kind of move forward and just kind of soak in the game as much as I could because it wasn't my typical Twitch live stream. It was more of I was kind of trying to evaluate the game while I was playing it. Where normally my live streams are just kind of have as much fun as possible. This was more like I need to evaluate this game while I play it because I stopped in the middle of the live stream to record something for the video that I was posting later. But yeah, no, I don't even know where to begin, dude. I don't even know where to begin with this.
I do.
Then please, by all means.
This is a lot like Breath of the Wild.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
It's a lot like we all said, like, oh yeah, the open world looks a little bit like Breath of the Wild. Dude, it's very, very Breath of the Wildy.
Let's start with so this much for video watchers and audio. I'm holding up right now the game cover artwork, which
this is not same as
this is not Breath of the Wild. Where this is not what we all thought was going to be the cover, at least not what I thought. I thought that Sonic sitting on a mountain situation was going to be.
Oh, yeah. No, I meant the icon is the same. I got it digitally, as you probably already know.
Yeah. I bought it physically because the eShop was down yesterday. That was weird. But yeah, so got it physically, and yeah, let's start with that because I thought it was going to be that same artwork that we saw. I guess it was renders. I guess it wasn't true, but. The cover doesn't. The cover doesn't look like Breath of the Wild, which is kind of funny.
That's one of the only things that doesn't really look like.
I think they were like one more thing that doesn't. Let's just get rid of one thing. It was one too many things like Breath of the Wild. We'll just get rid of the cover artwork and change
now,
that.
Now, I do want to say this. Having said that, I don't hate that it's like Breath of the Wild. You've been watching me play this game for the last what?
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I really like it. It's kind of like busy where it's very good for my ADHD. It's like,
I bet,
go do this, go do that, run over here. That's why I love Breath of the Wild so much. It's like, I get lost. I'll set a marker. And I'm like, okay, go to that marker. That's a part of the map I need to open up. But on my way there, same thing with Breath of the Wild. I'm like, oh, what's that? And then I want to
get this. I want to get this out of the way right at the beginning. My biggest gripe with the game so far, in my first impressions, the controls.
Why? I don't.
So like I don't know what I was expecting. I knew I wasn't expecting to be able to control Sonic's like finger motions. You know what I mean? Like, but like I was more expecting a Breath of the Wild. Okay, let me back up a little bit. I was kind of expecting not Breath of the Wild, but like when I hear open world, I heard I can do anything. Like in Breath of the Wild style, you can climb the mountains, you can swim. You can do all these things and different means of travel. This is like Sonic runs. Sonic has a hard time going up mountains. Sonic cannot swim. Sonic skates. Sonic skates, and that's about it.
He grinds.
You're right. I'm sorry. He grinds.
He doesn't.
On the rails.
He's just grinding.
Breath of the Wild Pro. Breath of the Wild
he's
Pro
really
Skater.
Nasty at it too.
Breath of the Wild Pro Skater. This game is actually called Breath of the Wild Pro Skater. That's what.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm good with it. I don't know, man. Listen. I kind of knew going in what to expect with this. That's the way Sonic moves. He's fast. Like there's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of climbing and weapon using in Sonic games. It's just not.
Yeah. Well, this is my first 3D Sonic game, so I have a lot to learn here.
Ever?
Yeah. Ever.
Okay.
This is my first one.
I haven't played many of them. I'll be 100% honest about that because most of them are terrible.
Yeah, I played the very first Sonic game. That was it.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, wow. Okay. So you really didn't know what to expect going into this. You had no idea. I mean, it's not even just Breath of the Wild that's very familiar about this game. Like you said, kind of what we're doing right now. I mean, I asked you, where do I put these little animals? And you said, oh, you mean the Koroks? Oh, yeah, these are just like the Koroks.
And not just looks, functionality.
Yeah, I haven't found the guy to give them to yet, but I have a bunch of them. And yeah, you climb up stuff. You end up getting up to high places. There's a couple of them sitting there. You come around the corner. There's a couple of them sitting there. They're everywhere.
They give you little seeds. Literally, they call them seeds.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, there's a ton of similarities. But
yeah,
I think also it does a lot of things pretty well. I like I said, I do like the map. I like the way that they have the markers and stuff set up where it's like, okay, these are the things you need to do this. Here's side quests. Here's this. You can go through, you set waypoints, do your thing. I like that. I mean, I think that's fun. And I mean, obviously I'm about 3 hours in at this point. I don't have
2.5 maybe.
I don't know how much of the map I actually have unlocked. It's not that much. And it's all in the little pixel stuff too. So it's like, I'm curious to see exactly how big the map actually is once it's completely open.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to see how many of these little zones we get to go in. And I really enjoy that part of it. I know they're short, but there's other stuff inside of them too that I still haven't gone back. I'm still in that area of the game where it's just like I'm not really doing anything. I'm just existing in the game and finding things and running around, and kind of basically what I did in Breath of the Wild for a while. Just walk around and look at stuff and find things. But I don't know. I know you said you had some issue with the docked mode.
Yeah, so obviously I streamed it, and I've only really had a chance to play docked. I haven't got a chance to play on my handheld device yet. Just a few minutes, but I kind of already confirmed what I expected. It's a low resolution, guys. I mean, it caps out at 720. That doesn't mean it always runs at that resolution. I'm not sure. Maybe Switch Corner can make a video about it and tell me what the frame or what the resolution is throughout the game. But it's pretty much. It seems like to me, it's only maxing out at 720, which is fine, acceptable for handheld. For dock mode, for a game like this, for a full price game, especially at this caliber, it is a little bit disappointing to see it at such low resolution.
I will agree with you. The resolution it's surprisingly low in docked mode. When I just put it in docked mode as we sat down here because my Switch was dying, and I was like, oh God. That is the opposite of crispy.
It is.
That is soggy. That is a soggy. It's a soggy image there.
If high resolution was a waffle, this game is a pancake. It is. It's soft. It is soft and smooth as ever.
My wonder is this something they're going to work on? Because I mean, obviously, I know you haven't either, but I haven't seen what the other versions look like. PS5, Xbox. I haven't seen what those look like. I'm sure a lot better, but is it really like a lot better, or are they having kind of lower resolution issues as well?
One of the most notable things I saw, and by the way, I do not think they're low resolution. They're all running at 1080, 4K, something like that. Like they're all high resolution because the hardware can handle it for sure. But the only similarity between those versions and this version is the kind of popping in and out of textures and graphics as you get closer or farther away from them. I noticed, I think, particular the trees and bushes and grass when you get closer. Not trees, more like bushes and grass. As you get closer to them, as you back up, they still leave. The texture does, and when you get closer, they're still there, but pops in as a texture. So that's how they end. But like in the sky, rails, rocks that are hovering, enemies, those will literally disappear. And as you get farther away, and as you get closer, like we're talking like extremely close, they reappear. Now, in the Switch, apparently is very bad with that. That's one of the big sacrifices the game is making, performance-wise, is they really are doing that a lot. Whereas the other versions, it's not as much, but apparently it is still happening even like on a high-end PC. Not even just Xbox, PlayStation. Like it's an issue with the game. It's the game itself.
So clearly, there's issues
polished enough.
Yeah, there's issues with the game that it's not. So it's not just the Switch that's having some issues. I mean, they're not having the issues that we're having, but I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I know it's low resolution. It is. The frame rate seems to be fine though. Frame rate seems to be right. I mean,
yes. The frame rate
seems to be good.
It is all we can ask for in a Switch port is the frame rate to be steady. If it's steady 60, please do that. Don't be bouncing back and forth. If it's 30, please do not dip under 30. Just keep it at 30. And that's what this game is delivering on. It's really steady at 30 FPS. It's really good. Like it's good. Like it's really not. It's not even when you're going in those loop-de-loops and you're in high dense areas with things. It doesn't really dip. And again, Switch Corner can tell us more when he dives into the game. Dives deep in the game.
Frame rate
he's got he's all rich and stuff. He's got all his stuff. I don't know, but
rich guy. Damn,
that's a
rich guy.
No, he's a rich guy. That's what you go to us for our ridiculousness. You go to him for the truth.
Fair.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's a really steady frame rate. The one gripe I have is the resolution, but it's something I can get over if handheld is as promised. If handheld is pretty much 720. Yeah, rare dips, like especially the OLED screen. Like I played a little bit on my this is the one next to my desk right now.
I can tell you this.
Old screen. It's not so great, but on the OLED, I really hope it looks as good as I think it might.
I can tell you this. If you are fine with the way it looks docked, only as a handheld mode, it's basically what it looks. It looks the same.
It should look a little better though.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's still,
a little bit.
It's still pretty muddy in handheld. I mean, it is. It just is. It's low. The frame rate's fine. The resolution is it's low. I hope it's something that they come back and fix. I know they did a lot of work to Sonic Colors, but I mean, that game had other issues. That game just had like bugs, like problems.
Yeah. Do you think it's like kind of like the Pokemon effect where like they're just, I kind of talked about my video on the stream today. Is it really just like a matter of like they want to get merch out there and they want to get the shows?
I don't
and then
think
that's why they're pushing. Why are they pushing this game so hard right now? Like why can't they just get it right? It seemed like it was such a quick turnaround. It was so impressive for them to like kind of announce the game the end of last year and like the end of this year. It's out
and this was one of the ones. Yeah, this is one of the ones too. We talked a lot about like, is this actually going to come this year? Like, are they just? Yeah. Are we waiting till a certain point and then they say, oh, actually, we're going to delay it until next February or next March?
The announcement had no gameplay. It was the big red flag.
It didn't. You're right. I don't know. I mean, I still, like I said, I've been playing it. I think it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I love the little zone. Like I said, the zones. The first one you go into, and I think I found another one. It looks like the Green Hill Zone. Like the first.
Yes.
I really, really love the way that looks. And do you remember when we had Shibby on and I was going off about like the open world part? Like, why does it look so gray and dark? I'm still in the gray, dark. Like it was raining at one point for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I get that. But like my whole thing with that was like, why can't they just make it like it looks on the movie whenever they look through the little ring and it's like, you know, the Green Hill Zone, like where Sonic's from. Yep. But they did. That's exactly what that part looks like. It looks really good. I really thought that was really well done, even though I've been in 4 of those now. Every one of them's different. I mean, you know, it's all basically the same. Do your loops, jump through the thing. But I mean, all those have like 5 or 6 different things you want to try to do in them. So I mean, the content's there. There's a lot of stuff. I'm wondering how many there are. I'm wondering about how long this game is. I haven't looked that up yet. If someone in the chat wants to go look that up for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. Yeah.
I'm wondering how long the game is as a full price game with these resolution issues. Very, very fun game, but I'm gonna need a little bit of time out of this one. I think I'd like to see this go for a while. But being a Sonic game, I don't see this being a 20, 30-hour game. I see this being a 10-hour game, even open world.
Speaking of time, let's talk about the story of the game, which obviously this is just a first impressions kind of thing. We're gonna talk about Sonic a little bit as we play. Yeah. We're gonna talk about it more as we go on. I think later this week we're gonna possibly have Shibby on to talk even more in depth about it, and we'll play some more. I'll play it on stream. I'm sure you're gonna play it more on your own. But the story so far, it's interesting. It's been short. It's really not that much so far.
I have got a good bit. I've got 3. How many cutscenes have you had? I think I've had 4.
Oh, 4? Yeah, I've had 4.
Have you already seen the Eggman stuff where he's...
Yes.
Okay, I've seen 2 Eggman.
I think, I've seen 2 or 3.
Okay. And then have you talked to, I forget, Amy, the pink...
I have talked to Amy.
How many times?
Once.
I just talked to her again. She just showed me some other stuff about these ruins and some other stuff. So it's kind of starting to like progress a little bit. You're starting to get an idea of what could possibly be happening. But again, like I said, I'm like 3 hours in. It's already starting to kind of open up to where like, okay, like I can see what's happening here, sort of. But I don't know. I'm interested to see how long the game is. I'm really into it. Bayonetta is going to take a back seat to this one. I'm going to be playing this one. I do like it.
If I had Bayonetta, I would not do the opposite, honestly. I think Bayonetta looks sweet.
It is sweet. It's awesome.
I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but looks sweet. But yes, Sonic, the story is something I was really excited for in this game. Coming into it, I'm like, yeah, a Sonic game with a story and like open world, like sign me up. Everything checks all my boxes. And if I'm pretty sure that I'm confident that I can get past all the other 3D
Sonic games have stories. They're just bad stories.
Well, they hyped this one so much that I figured it had to be somewhat of a good story. There's no way bad story.
Yeah, I mean, it seems it's interesting. There's a mystery to it, and I don't know the answer, so that's good.
Yeah, let's talk about more of the, speaking of story and stuff like that. Let's talk about more of the parallels with Breath of the Wild in this ancient technology. Guardians.
Basically, we're basically fighting Guardians.
Each level, like 1-1 through 4 so far is what I played. They're basically shrines. They look like shrines.
A Sonic version.
Not now when the puzzles. They're not really puzzles in there. The whole overworld's full of puzzles, really. But the shrines themselves are not puzzles, but they resemble shrines. It's all ancient technology, like I said. And the Guardians. What else? Help me out. There's lots of the Koroks we talked about before. Did we talk about the Koroks yet? In this episode, I think we did
earlier. Sonic 06. Yeah, I played Sonic 06, Hari.
The Koroks. Did we talk about the Koroks earlier?
We did talk about the Koroks. Yeah.
They're literally Koroks. Like they look like them. They sound like them. They have a K in their name. It's like with an O. What are they called?
Clearly,
Cocos. Called Cocos. That's what it is. K-O-C-O.
I think it's just Cocos. Yeah, but K-O-C-O. Yeah.
They couldn't even do C-O-K-O. They had to start with the K too.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of similarities, but again, it doesn't bother me. I'll tell you one thing Breath of the Wild 2 could take from Sonic Frontiers is the map system. I like the map system way better. It is open. It is open, and you're unlocking pieces of it, and it's showing you like, okay, main story, head this way. Here's some side stuff. Here's this. And a lot of open world games do that. A lot of them do that. But I don't know. I feel like Breath of the Wild was missing just a little bit of that, just something to be like, this is the direction, because that's why we didn't have any story.
Yeah, I'm not surprised you say that, because you're someone who wants to make the games a little bit more linear than they used to anyway. You want it because the old Zelda games were much more linear, and you kind of want this one to be as well.
Just a little bit. Well,
makes sense.
This Sonic game is open world, but it's still like
it's very linear.
You know where to go though. Like it shows you like, okay, if you want to progress the story, that's the spot.
It's almost the opposite of problem Breath of the Wild, where like it's so obvious which way you need to go that like you kind of want to force yourself and go out of your way to explore.
It's the giant mechanical bird in the sky. That's the way you go in Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah, or go that way.
The giant elephant. Yeah, head for that.
I mean, there are paths in Breath of the Wild. If you completely ignore, like I always do, because you can climb the mountains. With your hands and
I don't know.
Swim.
I seem to have skipped a bunch of stuff. I've just actually, before I stopped playing, I went back because I was just going into the map far.
Yeah.
And I showed you, I think I sent a picture of my map to you. Did I actually send it or did I
Yes,
forget?
You did.
I'm opening up way more than I probably should be right now, because I'm over in places where it's like you need 19 keys to get this, and I have 2.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like in all these like little individual levels, 1-1 through 4 is what I'm at. You get keys as you do better. I've my best, and they give you grades at the end of it. Would see to get here's your grade for how good you did. All of mine have been D's. I've been terrible. I've been slow, missing things.
I did the first one. I went back and did, because it gives you the option to be like, okay, you want to keep moving or you want to do it again? The first one I did again. I got a D the first time. The second time I got a B.
I've just been straight D's. I'm a D student today.
I got D's on everything else too. And yeah, you get 1 key, but I'm pretty sure if you go back in and do the other things, you get keys for all 5 things, right?
What do you mean?
Like I got 1 key because I completed the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, does it give you more keys? This is what I don't know. I haven't played the game long enough to figure it out.
I believe I believe you get more keys.
So if I go back in, this is like Mario 64 style, where I can jump back in the painting and go for the other stars, but the keys. Okay,
yes, I do believe so. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to check that. I'm going to play. Honestly, I plan on playing when we're done here tonight. That's what I'm going to do. Going to see Black Panther 2 on Thursday. So
hell yeah.
I watched Captain America Civil War last night,
And that's a matinee, because we're totally going to be live Thursday.
Oh yeah, we'll be live. We'll be live.
Actually, you're going to do it at the movie theater.
I was thinking about doing it at the movie theater. Yes, probably going to do it at the movie theater. But watched that last night, because that's the first, that's where Black Panther was first seen. Yep. I'm going to watch Black Panther tonight while I play Sonic, and then tomorrow is Infinity War. Plays a pretty big part in that. So then should have me ready for Thursday night to the podcast from the movie theater.
That's right. Yep. AMC.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor. Could be.
To the moon, baby.
Dude, it's been so low. Speaking of that, dude, it's been so low right now.
Oh no.
So low.
Buy it. Woo!
It's so low. I can't afford to. I'm so poor, but it's so low. Yeah, hey, next time you pay me, just pay me an AMC stock.
Okay, yeah, I can throw you some. I can throw you some over. That's fine. That's fine.
That's great. But no. So yeah, we kind of covered a good bit of the first. It's just the first impressions. I don't know how long this episode's going to be. This is first impressions because we do want to hit it up a little bit more later in the week. Also, don't forget, guys, Pokemon comes out next week, so that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on, next in the week.
We're going to talk about that actually next week on Thursday, correct?
Oh, for sure, because it comes out what, Friday?
Yeah. You know.
What else about Sonic? You got?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I basically said everything I want to say. I haven't had a lot of time with the game. I am enjoying it. I really do like it a lot.
Yeah.
It helps. It's my ADHD is helped by all the things in this game, and I get sidetracked, and that's fine because when I get sidetracked, there's a bunch of stuff to do over here. I thought the world was going to be pretty empty, but there's actually a lot of stuff going on. Some areas are a little bit calmer than others, but there's stuff going on basically everywhere. The first couple times we saw the game, they made it look so like just barren, like there's nothing. But
there's lots of. So here's the thing about the game, because you're moving so fast with Sonic that there's lots of travel in the game. So I think there's some areas that look pretty empty because like there has to be a lot of empty space for Sonic to run so fast. Yeah. And I'm playing on the slower mode because I chose not beginner, but I chose like I'm a beginner to Sonic 3D games.
Okay, so
and
it said
choose this one. Yeah, I chose normal because it said if you're new to Sonic 3D games, you should choose this one. If you've played them before, choose this one. I've chosen one where it's a little slower.
I'm on normal mode,
and I'm already
difficulty, but then I went to the fast mode or whatever.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that as well because in my video today I talked about controls and talking in relation to controls. I'm not talking about like this dead zones and sticks or button latency, nothing like that. I'm talking about like I think it's more of a me problem than anything. The fact that like he's so fast, I have it's really hard time controlling him, getting precise movements. It's really frustrating. Yeah. I'm kind of perceiving that as control issues, but really it's kind of just me mistiming things.
Yeah, it is, and you'll get used to it. The further you get into the game, and you got to remember this too. The other thing that we haven't even talked about, there's a skill tree. So you're going to get other moves, and you're going to be able to move around in different ways. As we get into the game, there's going to be a lot more stuff. So I mean, right now you're literally looking at bare bones Sonic. They're throwing him at you like this. It's like, okay, learn this, and then we're gonna pile stuff on, and by the end of the game, he's gonna be,
So he's gonna be Mortal Kombat Sonic.
Yes. I don't know, man. I'm happy with it so far. I am excited to put more hours in. I want to know how long the game is. You go ahead and talk. I want to look it up. I want to know. I want to know how long Sonic Frontiers is, because that is important to me.
I really don't have too much more on it. If I can get past, which I believe I can, the low resolution, the frame rates are steady. That's all. That's great. The game is really fun. I have no issues. The fun factor, if that's a thing, Drip, the fun factor, it's high. It's quite fun. I'm just disappointed because I had higher expectations for performance. The textures are solid, but again, when the textures are solid, but the resolution is low, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah,
but I do.
You're all right though.
It helps the ambiance. It helps the ambiance though, because if the textures were low and the frame rate, and the resolution was pretty low too, even if it was bumped a little, if the resolution was traded off a little bit higher for lowered textures, I think that would be worse. I think they made the right call there, making the overall fuzziness fuzzy, but the textures are solid. So like they're not good textures. Again, it's Switch, but like it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. And there's a setting that when I figured out live, you can turn off blur. Now they're talking about motion blur, but let's be honest here.
Yeah, you don't need help.
30 FPS game with low resolution and having motion blur. Now it's not a good. That's a good effect when you have a 60 FPS game with high resolution.
Oh yeah, because
I have that on in Fortnite. It looks amazing when you have motion blur. It looks great on a game that looks like this. You do not want motion blur. It makes the game look fuzzier than it is, like legitimately. And the low resolution and the low frame rate really doesn't give it any justice. It just looks like you're moving around slower.
So you know what that motion blur is for, right?
The effect of moving.
Yeah, it's to better match what your actual eyes see.
Yeah.
Like that's why movies are shot in 24 frames per second, because there's motion blur naturally there, because that's what your eyes naturally see. Your eyes don't naturally see 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second. That's why when you watch people who have their videos online that are 60 frames per second, it looks weird.
Yeah, for sure.
30 frames per second on a video looks weird. I think it looks like a soap opera. That's what I've always said.
I mean, I like 60 FPS. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
But I did get an answer. Context. Okay.
I did get an answer. If you rush through the campaign, it takes 10 to 15 hours. Average players, it will likely take 20 to 30 hours. So that's I like
interesting. That is interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I mean, I'm definitely not going to be rushing through, as you can already tell from what I've said. I get lost every 10 seconds.
Yeah, you need to go back and find the ways that you miss while you're going through. That's for sure.
Yeah, I need to slow down because I keep going. I was like, oh, he's so fast.
Right. Yeah, you're going so fast, literally in the game, that you're like, oh, I'm just gonna blow by all these other areas. We're riding the rails, baby. Riding the rails. Yeah. Loop de loops.
Well, that's the thing. Once you hop on a rail too, you've hit like 10 other little bouncy balls and gone through 25 rings and hit another rail. Like you're on the other side of the fucking map, man. Like you're like, where the hell am I? I don't even know where I'm at. I started in another time zone. Where the hell am I?
He's the speed of sound. He's Sonic. I don't know fast. The song. Running around at the speed of sound. But no, it's really good. We're going to get into Sonic more next week. This was just kind of a makeup for last week, guys. We really appreciate you guys hanging out. Stream, don't go anywhere. Do not go anywhere. Stream, we're hanging out some more with you homies. We'll talk to some chat. Give us your questions, comments, concerns in the chat. As far as the audio is concerned, guys, we're going to sign it off from here. Make sure to stay tuned for later in the week. We're going to give you another episode. And maybe another 4 episodes. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll just do an episode every week.
2 a day. 2 a day. Yeah. It's fine.
2 days. Guys, just a little quick plug. We don't have sponsors here. We're not good enough for that. But just make sure to watch Drip's YouTube channel coming forward here, because I edit his videos and I think you guys should watch them. So make sure you guys are doing that. I am also uploading videos and streams kind of simultaneously, really. So make sure to check out my channel. All these links are down below. I'll be live on Twitch at least twice this week as well. I'm a busy boy. Again, I want to apologize to all my Discord. Not again, but I want to apologize to all to my Discord, because I pinged you guys like 8 times in the past 2 days. So many things are going on. Big schedule this week. I'm busy. Appreciate you guys hanging out and supporting. You guys are awesome. We will catch you guys.
One more thing.
Okay.
Don't forget, you are streaming live tomorrow morning for the Indie Direct.
That's right. I don't know if
you almost forgot.
Well, this episode might come out after then. I'm not sure if I get this done and uploaded tonight, like I want to.
Either way, the live audience needs to know.
Direct predictions. We're going to get an announcement for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, for the Indie Direct. Yeah, it's definitely what's happening. Yeah, we can talk about the direct predictions in the after show for sure.
We will do that. Stay tuned for that. You guys, we'll see you next week.
Later.